AI isn't necessarily going to take your job in the next couple of years by itself, but people who use AI, they will. One of the biggest mistakes I see small business owners of all kind making is they're not publishing enough content to become seen on social media. And why do they do that? Because creating content at scale is not easy. You have to have a team to support you. But the thing that you can't do is turn a C player into an A player. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through step by step of exactly how you can build a team, create content at scale, and get noticed not only by people online, but also in the AI search algorithms and get picked up and shown to your exact customer so you can make more money with less people and less time. Number one is vision and expectations. Your team can't hit a target that they can't see. The way that you set vision for your team, I truly believe, comes down to what you want to make happen in the world. Nothing starts without some sort of a vision. And the Bible talks about like writing the vision and make it plain, write it on tablets so they who read it may run. And so the whole idea of getting it out of your head onto paper can be one of the best ways to make the vision clear. If it's just a jumbled mess in your head, then you have to find a way to synthesize that information to get it out on paper so that you can make sense of what you want to do in what timeline. And the way I look at it is like, what do I want to have happen in the next 1 to 3 years? Because beyond 3 years, you have no concept of what's going to happen. We couldn't have predicted the majority of AI tools that are here today, even 1 to 3 years ago. Like we wouldn't have been able to predict this, but now things move so quick in this AI age that we're in that we truly have to be thinking in max, even 90 days right now it's tough to look past that point. But you start off by asking yourself, what are the things that are not going to change? And what is the reality that I want to create in the future? And number 2 is standard operating procedures. Lay out the instructions before you put the operator in place. Standard operating procedures are critical in a business because without them, you literally cannot scale. Because you do things in your business every single day. You shoot content, maybe you edit content, you talk to clients, you send invoices, and every single business has hundreds, if not thousands, of little tiny granular tasks that have to be completed for you to get paid and for your clients to get the result that they get. And so the way that we help other people learn exactly how to do what we do so well is through the passing down of a standard operating procedure. You create the documentation and you give them a playbook on how to do their job well. One of the easiest ways that you can create SOPs is literally just by screen recording what you do on your computer and feeding that screen recording into AI to create an SOP for you. Because the thing is you do repetitive tasks every single day. You do them every single week or every single month. And the difference of someone who is able to delegate the work versus someone who has to constantly do the work or check on somebody doing the work is how good their training systems really are. And number 3 is talent. Hire for attitude and train on skill. I can't train someone to care and to have integrity and to be a person who shows up on time every single time or ahead of time and making sure that they have an internal sense of confidence with themselves or an internal sense of integrity with themselves. They have to be a person of their word, and that is an incredibly difficult, if not impossible, thing to train. As opposed to if you find somebody who already carries those core characteristics or those core identities, well then you're just finding somebody that already acts in a certain way consistently, regardless of the job that they're doing, and then teaching them to do the specific job that you have in mind. Skills are something that you can learn in a matter of hours now in this new world with AI, ChatGPT, Claude. You can literally learn something so quickly, and then you can create SOPs with it so quickly. But the thing that you can't do is turn a C player into an A player. Steve Jobs famously said, "We don't hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do." The truth is if you're constantly just bringing on B and C players and hoping that those B, C, or even D players are going to level up by you constantly pouring in and pouring in and pouring into them, and hoping that they're going to go from a D to a C or from a C to a B, you're going to be spending the majority of your time just managing an absolute circus. And I've done this before. I've made this mistake with several businesses that I've been in. And the thing that I've learned is that if you can take an A player, somebody that just shows up consistent, they are a person of their word, they exude excellence in everything they do, not just their work, but every aspect of their life. You can train that person to do a repeatable task or even something that's like very high skill, and they'll do it because that's just who they are as a person. As long as they get it, they want it, and they have the capacity to do it, they're a great fit for your team. I have so many experiences of doing this wrong, of bringing on just the next available person instead of the right person for the job. Hiring out of fear, scarcity, lack, and urgency, as opposed to hiring from a place of expectation, hiring from a place of strength, hiring from a place of abundance. And that can be one of the toughest things when the work is piling up on your desk. Sometimes you could just hit the big, quote unquote, easy button and bring someone in to take on the work. But in reality, that person, if they're not trained and they're not an A player, they might actually cause more problems by you delegating the work to them because they're doing it and making mistakes. They're not doing it on time, or they're creating even more of a chasm between you and your clients because they're not communicating as well as they should. There's so many things that can happen if you bring in the wrong people. But what I've learned about hiring A players is that A players literally take work off of your plate. There are people who make your life easier. They don't require a lot of you don't have to put a quarter in them to make them run every single day. They literally come with batteries included, and those batteries are always fully charged. The most important person that you can bring on for your content marketing team is a great editor. This is hopefully somebody that has skill both in video editing, graphics, photography, all of these things together, and they can actually play the field as it relates to going between different platforms, whether it's Higgsfield or Nano Banana, and actually utilizing AI generative content, or going into Resolve or Premiere or any of the other apps, and being able to go in between those apps to create something really great for your brand. Section number 4 is KPIs, or key performance indicators. If you can't measure it, then you can't manage it. And if you can't manage it, you can't improve it. Key performance indicators are critical so that you know if your company is improving or not. If there's a quote from Alice in Wonderland where the Cheshire Cat says, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there." And that's exactly how a lot of business owners operate without a clear dashboard with their numbers. So every week, honestly, multiple times a week, my team and I are looking at our numbers, seeing what's our customer acquisition cost? How many leads did we get in last month? What's our cost per lead? What's our cost per appointment? What's our lifetime value of a customer? All of these numbers matter. I just named a couple of them just on the client acquisition side, but there's also the retention side. What is your NPS, your net promoter score? What is the likelihood that someone would refer your business out so that you could continue getting more customers through referrals, word of mouth, that sort of thing? How happy are your customers? How happy are your clients? How long have they been with you? What's your churn rate? So like, how long do you actually retain a customer until they leave? That obviously plays into LTV. All of these numbers and many other numbers actually make up the financial picture to help you understand which levers you need to pull and which areas of the business require your focus to go to the next level. The most important KPI in business is LTV to CAC ratio, which is the lifetime value of a customer, meaning how much is the customer worth to you over their life cycle as they work with you, and comparatively to their customer acquisition cost. What did you pay to get them as a customer? And that ratio is a phenomenal measure of your business's ability to continue to make more money over time. And then Alex Hormozi even takes this a step further, where he says lifetime gross margin comparatively to CAC, or customer acquisition cost. Because it's not so much about how much you make, it's how much you keep. So lifetime gross margin to customer acquisition cost is hands down the most important metric to grow your business. So for simple math, let's say that you sell a product for $100, but it costs you $25 in order to sell it. So you make $75 for every unit sold. That would be your lifetime gross margin. Lifetime value would be $100, assuming you only sell it one time. And the cost would be $25, and you'd be left with $75 in lifetime gross margin on that product. Now, let's say hypothetically that you paid $10 to acquire that customer. You would have a 75 to 10 LTGM to CAC ratio, which would be 7.5 to 1, which would be an absolutely phenomenal business model if you could scale that up to the right volume. And number 5 is to have predictable recurring meetings in your businesses. This is the heartbeat of what's going on in the business, and it's an opportunity for all the teams to come together to share what's going on in the work that they're doing, where are they stuck, where do they need help. And one of the greatest tools that I've seen for this in terms of managing a great meeting is from the book Traction by Gino Wickman. He breaks down how to do what's called an L10, a level 10 meeting. And it's step by step exactly which items to talk about in every single meeting. So highly recommend checking that out if you're looking to have way more productive meetings in your business. Now, what I found works best is that we start off by reviewing the KPIs in the business. How are things going? What needs improved? And then at the end, we like to do something called issue processing, where we look at all the problems that are going on in the business, all the problems that are going on that are coming up in the organization, whether it's internally or externally with clients, and we address them one by one and turn them into tasks or to-dos in order to get them accomplished by next meeting. One of the best ways that you can stay aligned with your content marketing team and the objectives of that content marketing team is to set a recurring meeting where you guys know the exact agenda, what's going to be talked about, the exact content that's going to be created from that meeting, or the exact process or the exact output from that meeting, every decision that you're going to need to make in that meeting moving forward in order to grow the business. So whether it's interacting with a customer, so if you've got external people where they have, you're working with a videographer, you're working with an editor, some other contractor, you want to set up a recurring meeting with those people so that you can stay on target on your goals and hit your goals faster. And number 6 is to integrate AI into your business so you can get more done with less people. The truth is that AI isn't necessarily going to take your job in the next couple of years by itself, but people who use AI, they will. The most important software that I'm using every single day as of 2026 in my business is called Claude, specifically Claude Chat and Claude Projects and Claude Code. So creating context windows inside of Claude Projects so that we can actually upload system instructions and make our LLM really, really smart and be able to recall specific information about the business so that we don't have to constantly be feeding it reports or feeding it files every single time we open up a new chat. It's got those in context. So it can refer to documentation. It can refer to past results. It can refer to your finances. We even have our finances being injected into there on a daily basis. You can connect all of your different applications, whether it's Gmail, whether it's Stripe, or it's any other tool through N8N or Zapier. You can integrate any of these online softwares into your Claude system and actually be able to get real lifetime information about what's going on in your business from a finance perspective, have it do things for you like respond to emails, draft email replies. There are so many things that AI is doing now to replace the need for hiring more people so you can scale with higher profit. One of the biggest things that we use Claude for is actually content creation. So what we'll do is we'll actually create a system instruction prompt to load into the Claude project so that we can ask it questions and we can prompt the project to deliver us the results that we want quicker. Because if you have to constantly be injecting new context into your prompts every single time, that's what creates AI slop. AI slop is what happens when you have poorly managed context windows and you're asking AI to basically take a summation of the internet, because that's what it's trained on, right? It's trained on the internet, and give you generic answers because it doesn't have a deeper context window to go into. You're asking it to just go pull the entire internet and then give you an answer. I don't want the entire internet being pulled when I'm asking for a request for a specific prompt, or I'm writing copy for some specific thing. I want it to have context on the exact outcome that I want, and therefore act as a guide to give me exactly what I need in that copy, whether it's an ad angle, whether it's primary text or a headline for an ad, whether it's the actual step-by-step video script that I'm recording to create content. Without context windows, AI is way less powerful. So that's how we use it every single day in our business to make more money without hiring more people. And number 7 is to use content marketing as a growth channel across all platforms. I'm talking about posting organically on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of the different platforms so you can display your content and actually get seen by your ideal customer. Even Google is changing the way that it indexes content in 2026 moving forward. Now there's more clicks going to YouTube than there is all of Google as of 2026. So what does that mean? The content that people are consuming online through video format is getting more and more attention. And so what we need to do is create content on those platforms so that when people search us, whether it's through ChatGPT or Grok or Manus or any of the Claude, any of the other systems, the large language models, that when it's scraping YouTube, we actually show up first because we've created content in that realm. So part of SEO in 2026 is using content marketing as a system so that you can actually be seen not only by humans, but by large language models that are scraping these massive websites to give the user the exact answer that it wants. And this is just one video in a whole series I'm doing. If you want to watch the next video, you can see it right here.